Thank you for coming back to another Hamza Khan show video. Really appreciate you guys coming back again to another video. Gonna get right into this week because this has been a bit of the results of what happened at King of the Ring has just kind of changed everything, in my opinion. Of course, we had coming off it, we had the main things were Sami Zayn winning at winning the WWE Undisputed Championship, and then you also had Obafemi winning the King of the Ring. I'll about Oba because that was what happened on Monday Night Raw. It was a very great opening segment for Monday night. Oba came out as per usual, loud entrance. Crowd was loving it. It was a great crowd on Monday, and it felt important and it felt real that Obafemi had won. A lot of the time, it kind of feels like, okay, this guy's won, but what's next? I did not feel like that was the case for Obafemi in their match on Monday night. Of course, Oba came out, crowd goes wild. We're expecting him to make the decision between if he's going to face Sami Zayn or Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Before he can make the decision, here comes Brock Lesnar with one of his best promos I've ever seen of Brock Lesnar. Um, he's jokey, he's laughing. Paul Heyman and him are having a good time. Oba's stressed, but he's anticipated. He's been calling out Brock Lesnar, and finally Brock Lesnar has came out to confront um, Obafemi for everything Obafemi has been saying since his loss to Brock Lesnar at Clash in Italy. Of course, it wasn't a clear win. It was just kind of Brock was able to win that night. It wasn't as if you compared it towards Oba's match on WrestleMania, it was kind of night and day. It wasn't similar at all, and it wasn't a Brock Lesnar performance. Brock Lesnar is the one who dominates. Brock Lesnar is the one who controls the match. He F5s you, he suplexes you, he takes you to Suplex City, and when he decides to finish it, that is when it's over. And Oba just wasn't letting up. So it wasn't as kind of a clear cut win as Brock would have wanted. Of course, Brock comes out, they confront each other, and the decision is made for Oba and Brock, SummerSlam Minnesota, Hell in a Cell, which is insane, but I feel like it was the expectation. A lot of people were wondering, are they going to do two matches? Is Brock going to be after SummerSlam? I think based on everything that we've seen from Brock Lesnar this year and how it just it didn't feel like a typical Brock Lesnar run so far. It's been memorable in a way, in a good way. It's been appreciative. What happened at WrestleMania, what we saw at the Royal Rumble, him appearing at Clash in Italy, you don't see Brock Lesnar at one of those kind of PLEs. He's only there at those main event, big match kind of PLEs. So having Brock Lesnar at Clash in Italy, having in a match against Obafemi at an already sold out arena. That arena was already sold out. That was financially, you have no reason to put Brock Lesnar on that card, but you did, and that was different to what we normally see. That leading up to what's happened on Monday night. Interesting. I feel like it was expected. It was, if you were gonna pick out of the three choices, it was most likely maybe Oba gives up that championship match and he goes towards Brock Lesnar. We've got what's happening with Roman Reigns, which we'll touch on afterwards. But that's going good. Why would you kind of not necessarily ruin it, but kind of interfere with it when the build is good on that end? Oba versus Sami, as much as Sami is fantastic, it isn't as you'd kind of expect and see the repeat of what happened with Oba and Jey Uso on in in the King of the Ring tournament. So expected. I enjoy the full kind of how they build towards it. The stipulation, Hell in a Cell, you want that grandiose kind of moment. We don't get Hell in a Cells quite often, which I feel like so is which is good. I would have preferred a last man standing match between Oba and Brock rather than a Hell in a Cell. Uh, just as a personal kind of thing, but it adds that kind of Hell in a Cell. It's got his kind of aura back, so it's not like the biggest deal if it's not um, a last man standing match or a different stipulation. But very good. Paul Heyman, fantastic as usual. He seems to have leaned away from the vision and everything going on their end, which was interesting. I didn't feel like it would come so early, but it kind of makes sense, especially with what you got with going on with Austin Theory and Maxine, something building towards there. Braun Breaker's lost to Seth Rollins in a kind of a sense where, as much as Braun Breaker looked fantastic, it gave a sense of at the end he felt like he was giving up, and he didn't look like that monster, that main eventer that Paul Heyman has presented. Of course, Bronson Reed and Logan Paul are currently injured, so it makes sense. I'm liking it. Will the vision kind of rebuild itself after people's injuries are sorted, or will it be a case of slowly people kind of just go on their own way and the vision storyline, the vision kind of faction is slowly forgotten? Off the back of that, the main thing that happened on Monday, Monday Night Raw, was our kind of main event, the ending of the show, the confrontation between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, which was fantastic, amazing. The words just, it was just so good. Bloodline story is so back. Roman Reigns is fantastic. Seth Rollins is fantastic, and everything made sense in that confrontation. It wasn't a case of here's insult back. You can instantly feel these two hate each other, but they've got so much history and respect for each other that overshadows in certain aspects the hate. And it made sense if Oba isn't going to be facing a champion at SummerSlam, Roman versus Seth. If we're thinking about who's available currently, makes a lot of sense, especially with Seth Rollins saying we've got it's the future is shorter than what the past is, and it's kind of we're closer to the end than we are from the beginning. And if we don't have this match now, when would you want to have this match? Is it a case of you building Seth Rollins and he wins the Royal Rumble? That doesn't really make much sense currently. Seth Rollins has that kind of his goals have been met so far with destroying the vision, beating Braun Breaker, getting his revenge, and his last goal was taking back the championship that he never lost. We've got a couple of weeks before SummerSlam as well, so you have your time to kind of marinate, build and build. We could see what happens with Solo on going forwards. We didn't see him on SmackDown this week, which was interesting. I feel like I was kind of expecting a confrontation, and we didn't get that confrontation, which was interesting to see. Will we see something on Raw? I'm interested. It feels different. Of course, we had leading up to WrestleMania, you had the Seth versus the CM Punk versus Roman feud, which was overall fantastic, and it definitely satisfied the story that was there. Could we've had more maybe, but it was definitely very talked about, very intriguing, and is memorable. And I feel like that is something that you want. Um, of course, you had what happened with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, and that being built up now. Seth Rollins kind of is kind of linked towards that Bloodline, destroying it initially when he helped Cody Rhodes win the championship. There's a lot of storyline. There's a lot of things you can bite onto in that match, in that storyline. I'm very hyped for it. I'm looking forward towards a Roman versus Seth match. Right now, right here, Roman is able to overcome Seth and he wins. He retains his championship at SummerSlam. That is my feeling right now, right here. Could that change? See what Seth does. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Seth, his demeanor, his way of speaking, his clothing, his entrances. It still has that Seth esque, but it's a lot more serious and it mirrors what he said to Roman Reigns, but that we're closer to the end than we are from the beginning. Switching paces, of course, the other big monumental thing that happened on SmackDown, on in the King of the Ring, was Sami Zayn winning that WWE Championship, and I really expected it to be a lot more of a celebration, a lot more like yippee, confetti falls down, Sami Zayn's done it, whoa, and it didn't feel like that. And I feel like the reason because of that, what we've forgotten about Sami Zayn is technically a heel, and he can't just. If being a heel is what brought him to the championship, why would you change your ways after winning the championship? That doesn't make sense, and I feel like it is the right move with Sami Zayn kind of winning. I don't mind the fact that the crowd is split, and it's a case of there's a lot of people cheering, but there is that still that booing mixed in, so it isn't a completely one-sided crowd because it kind of it the cheering really confirms the fact that Sami Zayn was able to win the championship finally. The booing confirms technically this guy is a bit of an arsehole, so we do need to still boo him. And he wasn't the way his mannerisms, his way he spoke on the microphone when addressing the crowd, that kind of cockiness when you say, I could bring up the fact that you guys were all booing me and calling me a bad guy, but I won't because I'm the last real good guy. I feel that's good. That's nice. Of course, what I didn't expect was what happened afterwards. So, of course, Cody Rhodes comes out to congratulate Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn called him out on it. He's like, sure, you're congratulating me, but I know I've got something you want, which was very heel like of Sami Zayn. And then here comes Jey Uso, OTC's orders. We saw on Raw he's avoiding the OTC. If he's able to win the championship, whether it was in the King of the Ring or before or after that, before he's confronted by the OTC, it is what it is. So Jay's got his mission, he's got his focus. He congratulates Sami Zayn, but he also gives his warning shot. Adam Pearce comes out because Nick Aldis is I think they are going to be building towards Nick Aldis and Gunther. Hopefully, Nick Aldis comes out and not Adam Pearce comes out and says, Sami Zayn, we're having a number one contenders match this week, today on SmackDown between Cody and Jay. Whoever wins faces you on Raw. There must be a reason why you're getting Sami Zayn on Raw. I fully expect Sami Zayn to win on Monday Night Raw, but the normally you would do it on the following SmackDown. Of course, you've got the excuse that Adam Pearce is that Raw general manager, really, but it doesn't really make sense for him to be pushing for things on Raw. That doesn't make sense if you want people to be watching SmackDown. My assumption moving forward is you gotta expect some sort of interference, involvement from the individual who is going to be facing Sami Zayn at SummerSlam. Is it still going to be Cody Rhodes? Do you do Sami Zayn like that and a week after winning the championship he loses it? I don't think so. But my only thing is, my mind is going towards a couple of things. One is this how you do two matches at SummerSlam for Oba Femi? There's some sort of confrontation between Oba and Sami. Oba says to Adam Pearce, I'll I'll beat Brock Lesnar night one and I'll take the championship on night two because I can. Is that what we're gonna see? Or hopefully there's a return of some sort. CM Punk is in the line, Drew is in the line, Randy Orton is in the line. There's quite a few people out there that you could be pushing for Sami Zayn if Cody Rhodes is not where you want to be going. If you get what I'm saying. It's interesting. I'm enjoying it. Wrestling's been fantastic. NXT again this week. Last week I watched obviously Great American Bash. Fantastic. Tatum Paxley is my current favorite NXT wrestler. I can't wait for she to be on the um, main roster. Who else do you kind of look towards? Um, Solo and LA Knight have kind of progressed. Solo was on Raw. He helps out. Um, LA Knight again from being jumped. Solo and LA Knight tag team. I want that really bad. As if no one else wants it, fine. I want that. And then you've also got what's happening with Chad Gable as well. He was able to defeat Um, JD McDonough, interesting. Lots of things going on, especially we've got the Saturday night's main event coming up soon as well. Is that going to be similar to the previous show where everybody who's on the main Saturday night's main event is not going to be able to get onto the SummerSlam? Which I don't mind if you're going to build some people and you're going to have some matches there and give them the time on a big PLE. I'm all for it. Um, I'm interested to see what's going on. I'm enjoying wrestling right now. It's always fun, but I'm really enjoying the build currently towards SummerSlam. Hopefully, it's totally opposite to what WrestleMania was, Wrestle Admania, and we see something special. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you again. Leave a like if it was good, leave a dislike if it was bad, and peace.